Everyone, my name is Jeffrey Amaro, and will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? We will now pay honor and respect due to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the playing and singing of our national anthem.
Thank you, students of Henry Harris. I know you guys have a lot of homework to do, so if you need to leave to get that done, we don't blame you.
Thank you all.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, we will now open the regular meeting of the Board of Education. For the record, this is a public meeting of the Bayonne Board of Education. It is 6:04 p.m. the 25th day? What's today? The 18th day, my fault, of March, and we are convening at Henry Harris Community School. We will now have the presiding officer notice.
For the record, adequate written advance notice of at least 48 hours giving the time, date, and location of this meeting was provided as follows. First, notice was prominently posted in City Hall at 630 Avenue C on the bulletin board reserved for such announcements of the Board of Education. Second, the board secretary sent such notice to the Jersey Journal. Third, notice was filed with the municipal clerk of the City of Bayonne, Ms. Madeline Medina. And fourth, notice was posted to the Bayonne Board of Education website.
All right, we'll now take a roll call. Trustee Bechet is absent. Trustee Burke?
Here.
Trustee Casillas?
Here.
Trustee Godesky Rodriguez?
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez is absent. Trustee Saniola? Trustee Sclafane?
Here.
Vice President Maggio?
Here.
President Desmond?
Here.
Okay. We'll now move on to the approval of minutes for the February 25th board meeting. Can I have a motion
I'll move.
and a second?
I'll second.
On that motion and second, Trustee Burke?
Yes.
Trustee Casillas? Trustee Godesky Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Sclafane?
Yes.
Vice President Maggio?
Yes.
President Desmond?
Yes.
And it's approved. Okay. We will now move on to the superintendent's report, which consists of curriculum items A1 through A7 and personnel items B1 through B10. Can I have a motion?
I'll move.
And a second?
I'll second.
On that motion and second, Trustee Burke,
Yes.
Trustee Cassius,
Yes.
Trustee Gadesky Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Sclafane,
Yes.
Vice President Maggio,
Yes.
President Desmond.
Yes.
Motion's carried. All right, we will move on to the Business Administrator's Report, which consists of items C1 through C16. We do have a question on item C13.
You sure it's green?
Here. I just would like to hope that every board member is going to take into consideration the 2% cap and vote accordingly. The last few years, we have moved forward and accepted the 2% cap to make sure that all of our educators and our staff throughout the district are being thought about, and making sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that our buildings are staffed properly and everyone is being taken care of correctly. So, thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion? And a second?
I'll second.
That motion and second, Trustee Burke,
Yes.
Trustee Cassius,
Yes.
Trustee Gadesky Rodriguez,
Yes, but I'm abstaining from C6 and C9.
Trustee Sclafane,
Yes.
Vice President Maggio,
Yes.
President Desmond.
Yes.
Motion's carried. That is all the business we have, but we do have some people who would like to speak. We'll start with Miriam Gayed.
Good evening, everyone. As the school year progresses, Stuga has been diligently working to make this year both exciting and enjoyable for all our Bayonne High School students. First, our current and upcoming events. Stuga is planning to hold a spring dance in which the theme will be Tangled, and a DJ as well as a photo booth will be provided for our students. In order for our students to participate in the event, contracts were already distributed on March 10, and tickets already started selling on March 11. Next, Stuga is planning to hold a charity game for 5-year-old Gabriella on April 2nd, from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., in which the event will be staff versus staff, students versus students, staff versus students, playing volleyball, and the loser will get pied. On top of this, the event will include a halftime show as a rap battle. Additionally, Stuga is planning to fundraise through selling Krispy Kreme donuts and hot chocolate during homeroom, in which one donut is $2 and a hot chocolate is $3. Lastly, Stuga plans to hold a general meeting in April where our board members will get to introduce their roles to our homeroom representatives to encourage participation in our upcoming elections. For all these events, we'll be actively updating our Instagram page at bhs.stuga to keep everyone informed. We are eager to make this school year unforgettable and enjoyable for all our Bayonne High School students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll have Bernadette Leone.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm not sure if what's different from last time. I was here last month because before I spoke, I wanted to make sure I knew the process. Last month, I received a phone call in the morning notifying me of the meeting. This month, I didn't, which is fine because I checked the website, but just for consistency's sake, I did receive a phone call last time. I also, this time, when I came in, I had a call last week to figure out if I needed to submit something prior to speak. I wasn't sure. There's no directions on that on the website on how this meeting functions or the use or the ability for people to participate. It would be helpful if people knew that they could utilize this meeting. I don't think it's well known. So then also this meeting, I'm not sure if it's still applicable. I remember last month we were told we had 3 minutes to speak. I'm not sure if that's consistent. Okay, it would be good to mention that each time, the rules. So I just have a few points I would like to propose, everything being in a constructive manner. My first one being, I think there should be a time restriction on the communication hours that I hear from the teachers and the school nurses. I think that receiving messages all day on the apps it's distracting, it's unnerving. I think that if it's not an emergency, not urgent, no news is good news. You're watching my children, I don't want to hear from you. I received a call in the middle of the day from the school nurse who left me a voicemail, and she didn't provide any disclosure, just, hey, this is the school nurse, call me back. You can imagine my panic and fear to call back and leave my meeting, doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? I'm freaking out, and I'm told that, oh, your son's vaccine flu shot is due in 2 months from now. That call should not have happened. That needs to be enforced. The app, I'm receiving messages daily on events at the library, high scope curriculum suggestions for the weekend, recipes. I don't need that. It's an easy enforcement. 9 to 2:30, do not message me unless something's wrong with my child. Number 2, I feel we should be implementing manners into the high scope curriculum, or whatever curriculum we want to call it. There currently are none, and it's unacceptable. There's an extreme high value in having manners, saying please, thank you, teaching people the ability to make eye contact, you're saying good morning. If our teachers, administrators have a lack of basic social skills, they shouldn't be in a job that requires communication. My next point is the garbage problem, the infestation that's occurring across Bayonne, but we'll tackle what we can here. We'll start with the schools. Why are we letting our children go to school with garbage and litter everywhere? Everywhere. Are we telling them they're too good to pick up garbage? That they should live amongst garbage? That it's okay for them to throw their garbage? We need to work on that. They can take pride in ourselves and our environment that our children are learning, growing in.
Ms. Leona, your time has expired.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Up next is Patricia Monaco.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patricia Monaco. I am a proud Bayonne educator for the past 37 years. And in those 37 years, this is the first time that I have ever gotten up to speak at a board meeting. The first 19 years of my career I spent in Washington Community School. I have been, for the last 18 years, a biology teacher at the high school. On Friday, we attended a workshop that was meant to instruct us how to use the new Genesis program to schedule our students for the upcoming year. And tucked within that agenda was the note that labs were no longer going to happen in currently B, as it currently stands, but also now in A-level and honors level science classes, that we would be missing a dedicated lab period. I do understand labs can take place in a 40-minute period, but not all. And in this day and age, I think we need to be adding more of these experiences rather than removing them. Do some of my labs work in a 40-minute period? Absolutely. Can some be adapted? Possibly. But the bottom line is there is no way that all of the labs that I currently do in my A-level class can be accommodated in a 40-minute class period, especially if I have students that are coming to me from the other house. They're going to be arriving late. Also, there is the logistics of it all. How do I supply 5 classes in a day? How do I clean up from one and have enough supplies for my next group to use? I think what this will do is kind of reduce our students to just being like trained SEALs. They're going through the motions, they're performing the tasks, but they are not getting any deep understanding about what's going on in that activity, why we're performing that activity. As educators myself, from my view, how I can be expected to educate my students to the same level of instruction and understanding that I currently do in 40 fewer periods during the year. And if I have to break a lab over to 2 periods to accommodate it, that means I'm having 3 instruction periods a week for my students. I think this is a huge disservice to our student body, and I cannot get a straight answer as to why this decision is happening, but if it's being made to accommodate scheduling for a select small group of students, I think the student body in general is not being taken care of. They're not getting what they need. I also hear a reason being floated, well, it's what everybody else does. Jersey City does it, Union City does it, North Bergen does it. My mother, who also was an educator in this system for many years, said, I don't care what the other kids are doing, I care what you're doing. I still live by that credo, and I find it difficult to take part in this science curriculum, which in my opinion does not provide our students with the best education or opportunities possible. For myself, at 37 years in, people have asked me, why are you still doing this? What about retirement? I could certainly at this point retire. I could have done it 9 years ago, and I would probably be making more money at that point. But this was a gut punch. Thank you. Just one last thing for 30 seconds more, since I didn't use any of my time in 37 years. I had planned to continue on educating Bayonne's children for at least another 3 years. I really did. But I have to really reconsider that now. Thank you.
Thank you.
You give us another 37 there, Ms. Monaco.
Okay, up next is Andrea Resitar.
Like Ms. Monaco, I am also an educator at Bayonne High School and have been so for the last 3 years. Teachers, this past Friday, I learned that all classes except for AP classes would be made into 5 40-minute class periods. Classes would lose the period they presently have. To say I was disappointed is an understatement. I asked our biology and chemistry classes and conducted 2 lab activities a week. I, for one, look forward to sessions more from them as I did from any lecture or small group work. The lab activities allowed me to see science in action and connect the dots to concepts more completely. Watching a demonstration or video of someone else completing a lab is not the same thing as completing the lab yourself. Otherwise, everyone that watched Steph Curry shoot 3-pointers would be. I learned in high school translated successful experience in my college science. A single 40-minute class period is not sufficient to the majority of the chemistry laboratory activities my students now complete, and a significant number cannot be readily paused and completed over 2 separate days. Any lab requiring 2 days to complete would also significantly cut into the time needed for my curriculum. Completing a lab over 2 days also increases expenses for disposable safety equipment such as gloves. In addition, even for modified lab activities, it will be nearly impossible in a 40-minute time frame to have students collect their safety equipment, review safety concerns, complete a lab activity, and clean up, and still allow me enough time to reset and be ready for an upcoming class. After all, sanitizing goggles between uses requires a minimum 10-minute cycle, and glassware and other equipment is in somewhat limited supply. My understanding is that the decision to drop the additional lab period is in part due to scheduling issues, since numerous students will be taking PE during zero period next year. I have to ask myself if it is worth sacrificing quality of instruction and an increased level of understanding so that students can squeeze in an additional class, have a 9-period school day instead of 8, and run the risk of being overloaded. As a parent, I know what experience I would prefer my child to have. I have always been a huge proponent of quality over quantity. I am glad BHS afforded my daughter Hannah, who graduated in 2014, the opportunity of 6 or more period per week science classes when she was in high school, and I can only hope other parents are afforded the same opportunity for their children in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Up next is Mr. Gene Woods.
I didn't intend on speaking about what Dr. Resitar spoke about or Ms. Monaco spoke about, but I hope that that's being considered because, you know, that's pretty vital to our academic success in the district. What I was going to speak about tonight was say thank you for those of you, all of you who voted for the 2% cap. We appreciate that. It's going to continue the mission that the district has been working on along with the BEA, try to ensure that our students are getting the best possible education that we have in this district. And I think we've been doing a great job with that moving forward in the last few years. We appreciate it on behalf of the BEA, and I hope you all consider what Dr. Resitar and Ms. Monaco said tonight. Thank you.
That is all I have for the evening. Anyone have anything? Okay. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
Trustee Burke?
Yes.
Trustee Cassius? Trustee Gadetsky Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Sclafane?
Yes.
Vice President Maggio?
Yes.
President Desmond?
Yes.
It is 6:24. The meeting is now adjourned.